Well, hello there. Welcome to a live edition of Show Boys. Haven't done one of these in a while, but as you can see, I'm joined by not the usual Nick, Chad, and Dad. Instead, we have like a little stream team hostage situation. They've come and
That's
held me
right. The
against
Stream
my
Team
will.
Takeover team came
Yeah,
through.
came into my own house and held me hostage. But no, we're joined the stream team here: Ugly Kid Joe Cross, Kumino, Dodon, and Bio Assassin, formerly known as Bio Civ. And we're gonna be talking about Palworld, and it's gonna be a grand time. But before we do that, just gotta do a quick shout out to our top tier patrons, Tim B, Yusuf H, and our honorary Hall of Fame member Josie. It feels awkward shouting two of those patrons out in front of them. But thank you guys for your support. It means the world to us. It helps us out tremendously. And if you're wondering what the heck Patreon is or how you can sign up to support us, you can head over to patreon.com/showboyspodcast. Check it out. We have 4 different tiers, offer different benefits and perks. Check it out at your leisure, and we would greatly appreciate it. So, Joe, how you doing, man? It's been a
I'm
while.
well. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. Kumino, it has not been as long because we've been doing Pokeboy stuff, so we've been hanging out, pretty semi-regularly over the last couple months. So
That we have.
good to have you back on. How you doing?
Love being here.
Nice. And Civ, dude, we were joking around in your stream. It does actually feel like it's been about a year since I've talked to you like this.
Yeah.
In this setting.
Yeah, it really feels. I don't even. I'm going to say it's been over a year at this point, and we're going to stick with it.
Yeah. Well, no one else will know any better, so
Right.
we'll roll with it. Glad you're here, though. It's going to be a grand time. And just quick shout out to Dad. For those of you who have been watching our episodes over the last maybe month or two, you've noticed that the theme song's been different. Dad really put out a banger theme song, and this is the first time going live right after hearing the new theme. So I'm pretty hyped. I'm jacked, ready to go.
It's really good,
dude. It's so
honest,
good.
yeah.
It's so good. But yeah, Palworld. This little game. I don't know if you've heard of it or not, but we're gonna be talking about it tonight, and it's gonna be great. Combines 2 of some of our favorite things, being survival crafting and of course monster taming, Pokemon. And yeah, we're hyped to talk about it. Joe, do you want to maybe start us off with like a brief introduction of what Palworld is and some of the crazy stats that have come out since? How long has it been out? Like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe?
Yeah, it's only came out on January 19th.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been out for roughly 3 weeks today.
The
game has sold. I just accidentally closed my browser. Has sold roughly like 19 million copies.
Wow.
And has boasted 2.1 peak players 12 days ago, which is one of the highest of all time of just the same people playing the same game. And that is just on Steam. That's not including the Game Pass.
Mm-hmm. Second highest concurrent on Steam.
2.1 million concurrent players on Steam.
Yes, and I mean, even after that,
That's
today, the 24-hour peak is 785,000 players.
Wow. So you combine, an estimate of Game Pass players, and you're probably sitting at 1 million 3 weeks out concurrent players.
Oh, I would imagine it's everywhere.
Yeah.
People you don't expect to be playing this game are playing this game. Like my boss at work. He's like, Are you playing Palworld? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh my gosh, how do you do this? How do you do this? I was like, wait, you play?
Actually, Civ's grandmother plays too. It's wild. It's wild.
Is that true?
Is that true?
No, she's dead.
But the game has
Bring that up.
definitely caught on. I would say at this point, I thought it was going to be a flash in the pan. It still may be a flash in the pan, but it's kind of turning into more of a phenomenon.
Yeah, more of a fire on the stove, so to speak. Than a little
Yes,
flash
and
in
I
the
mean,
pan.
you could tell it's not for a lot of people. I've seen some people, I've stopped by their streams and people are talking about Power and they're like, I won't do that because it's cruelty to animals. You know, like we get into what the game is about. It's pretty insane.
Yeah. Kumino, do you want to give like just a little brief explanation of what Palworld actually is? Like how the game works?
Oh, all right. So Palworld is for everybody that's been saying that it's Pokemon. It is not Pokemon at all. It is The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, Ark, Rust, so many other games with Pokemon way at the back. You like take Ark Survival Evolved, turn it cute, and just have a beautiful world presented in front of you with a dark undertone that you find through your Sheikah tablets. For those of you that play Breath of the Wild and games, you know what that is. Leading the way and telling you the story of everything that's been going on the island and kind of giving you hints on why you're there.
Yeah, it's funny you mention that because Joe actually, until he saw your post in our little DM in Discord, he was unaware that there's actually a story in this game.
Yeah, I was excited to actually hear the story because I'm like, wait, there's a story.
Yeah, there's a story.
I've found some of the tablets. I look through. I'm missing a whole bunch of them. I haven't even. I need to hunt these things out, but
yeah. You can use Map Genie. It'll show you the location of a lot of things because they do maps for a bunch of games, and they released a map for Palworld that show you where mining location is, treasure chests, eggs, bosses, and those memos that get left across the island. So
Nice. Yeah, I wonder. There's a site. I wonder if it's the same site, but there's a site similar to that we use for Valheim to uncover the seeds, resources, and stuff. And when I say we, I mean Nick, because he's
probably the same
like
one because it's the biggest one that shows you.
Yeah, an incorrect and very TLDR description, Pokemon with guns. It's a bad description, but yeah, you have a little bit of monster catching and training. I use that word very loosely. Battling, kind of. You have your survival crafting elements that also, like the crafting portion, I also use that kind of a little. Well, maybe not the crafting, the building. We'll get into the specifics later. But yeah, it kind of blends them all together, like with a dash of each, not really going too in depth in any direction. But the thing that I'm most curious about is for you, Civ. Wow, I almost said your actual name. That was hilarious.
You can say, oh, that's funny. That did. I was like, what do you mean? It's okay to say, wow.
Yeah. But no, as someone who I don't know your history with Pokemon, if you've played Pokemon games in the past, or if it's been a really long time, or if you've not played at all, or if you dislike them or whatever. But with the monster taming elements in Palworld, I'm really anxious to hear how you enjoy that side of the game, and if that's something that you like in general, or if that's like kind of the portion of the game where you're like not so interested in.
Well, it's fun to catch the pals, to run around and catch all the different types and have to use the different elements against them, their weaknesses and stuff.
Mhm.
I don't think I like focusing so much on it. I really didn't want to have to pick up more than one of each, just because you have to truly fill your pal deck.
Mhm.
I think is what pal decks or pal deck.
I think it's
Um,
deck.
Yeah, it's
pal
deck.
deck. And so for me, my big focus on the game was breeding. I was in love with the idea of, hey, this is probably the most humane way of getting new pals, finding strong and making them stronger. You know, other than condensing them and getting their pal fluids, you know. So
Oh,
for
yeah.
me, collecting it was cool. I didn't like the fact that they force you to catch a specific amount to get like experience boost to
Yeah.
jump your levels up so that you can unlock more stuff. But other than that, it was cool. I liked
Yeah.
it. I have short experience in the past. I played red, blue, yellow when they first came out, the original 3. And then after I realized they're all going to be the same game, I went for different ones: the Snap, Stadium, and Go. That was the
Okay.
last ones I ever touched.
So it's been a while.
Oh, it's been a while.
You need to try it. You two need to try a mystery dungeon.
Dude,
What?
Mystery Dungeon's awesome.
Well, him and I both need to do Mystery Dungeon because I have yet to play a Mystery Dungeon.
Yeah. So without like totally derailing this and going off on a massive Pokemon tangent.
Yeah, because we're only allowed to say it 3 more times.
Yeah,
Right.
we've almost hit the quota. Does the monster taming aspect of Palworld like spark any interest in maybe going back and revisiting a game like Pokemon or any of the other many Pokemon adjacent games like Cassette Beasts or Temtem or anything like that?
Not for me. It was fun in this game using the different elemental attacks because you were also involved in it. You didn't just watch them do their thing. You could jump on the back of your pal and use electric grenade launchers. You could load up a penguin and launch them. You could shoot eggs out of a Toko. So, like, that was cool. That helped bring me into that. Playing a normal pet battler game, I don't think it would be so much fun. It would be so tedious. When you and I played PCG and we would battle, it was a pain in the butt. Every time I pulled out a Pokemon, you knew the type, and you're like, I got to switch right now. And he'd flip to another one immediately. And I'm like, well, I can't do anything against that type. So I'd flip to another one. And then he'd go, oh, that's not good against this type. And we'd spend 5 minutes trying to just go,
switching
who's going to give up and let it go. And
The old team juggle.
Yeah. So I don't want to do that. It doesn't feel cool. It almost immersive breaking, you know?
Yeah.
So not gonna look back at any of the old Pokemons anymore.
I also like how you said the most humane way of obtaining strong pals is by breeding them and stealing the young for your own. It's very humane.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Stealing
Why are you doing that to me?
For your own selfish purposes.
Right, that is very Ark Survival Evolved right there.
Well, you know,
breeding up the whole army.
Breed a whole army.
Yeah, just taking all of the children. All right, your moms and pops, they in a retirement home over there. Don't worry about them. Come on, we going off to battle.
I was gonna say, ain't no such thing as a retirement home. When they're off at war, that's when we take out the butcher knife.
Oh no. Just wanted to shout out Mr. Tools in the chat, Dad, our producers in the chat. Thank you guys for hanging out and listening and chatting along. Appreciate you guys.
Mr. Tool is like the guru of Palworld.
Yeah, no kidding.
He has made a turtle army.
I hear him just dropping his pal wisdom in your streams when you guys are playing together.
Yeah,
very,
like,
very
hey,
helpful.
quit doing that. No.
Yeah, there's some I really enjoy like the tongue-in-cheek nature of this game. Like you're shooting eggs out of a bird's butt to hurt other pals, and like the first time. So I should just say this now. If you spoiler warning, I guess if there's anything you don't want to know about Palworld, maybe come back after you played for a little while. But the first time Joe like whipped out the butcher knife and took one of his pals to town, and it like blurred out what was happening.
Pixelated it, man.
I was literally like crying. I was laughing so hard.
That was a bad time in my life, man.
People at work was looking at me very strange. They was like, what is going on with him over there? Because I was dying. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, dude. And the fact that you can capture human pals. Like Kumno over here has got his own little human workforce at his base.
Look, listen, I'm all for liberating you, okay? When you part of the thug syndicate, you can always come and join the cartel. We offer you a better lifestyle from what the thug syndicate does. No more shoddy bases, no more having to go out there and fight and make crappy guns. You can just stay with us and work for your field.
There you go. Yeah. Who is it? Is it Steve or?
Yes, Steve. It's Steve and Roger.
Steve and Roger. They're pretty good guys. Glad to have them part of the guild. That's for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. Before we get into like the details of the game and our likes and dislikes and all those things, how did you guys get like hear of Palworld, get exposed to Palworld? I know Joe and I talked about it in Discord like
years,
July of 2022 or something like that.
That's what it is, man.
So I think I probably heard it from you, Joe, or either you or Jared, one of the other Poke Boys. He's been around Show Boys a few times, if you know.
No,
from Play Along podcast, but
I know exactly when you heard about it because we all heard about it at the same time from Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in one of my streams and Joe brought it up to us. And so that's when I went and clicked on the video.
So it's your fault, Joe.
Yeah, I can't. Guilty.
Right.
Joe,
Joe put us on this train.
So I've been spouting about this game for like 2 years.
Where did you hear about it from, Joe?
The dark
it must
web,
have been it must have been a video game expo that you heard about it at, right?
Yeah, it was a trailer
Silk Road.
It was a trailer shown somewhere at some expo. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is great.
They're literally shooting Pokemon with guns.
I honestly didn't figure it was ever going to come to fruition. I really thought this game was going to get completely shut down.
I mean, if you know the story of it, then it really should have, all things considered, because he blew the budget, first and foremost. It was only like 4 of them until they actually hired a lead engineer to make it a team of 5 to actually be over the project, in which that's the reason why it's on the Unreal Engine now, because they was in Unity. And when the lead designer came in, they was like, well, we're going to do what he knows how to do instead of what we know how to do. And so that blew everything. Said they spent about 6 billion yen on the budget of this game. So that's massive. And like all of the changes that came about just in the development process, because if you go back and look at the trailers, you'll see how it's completely different from what we actually have today.
Interesting. I'll have to go back and revisit some of the old trailers. Yeah. The whole concept when Joe first enlightened us was just like, this can't be like a real thing, right? Like we're gonna run around on top, like ride Pokemon and shoot them with like Gatling guns. Like, what is going on here?
Living the dream.
And from seeing the trailers, I wasn't exactly really sure what to expect outside of just the wacky chaos of Pokemon with guns. And when I heard that it would be survival crafting, I really like had no idea what to expect. Did you guys have any like actual legitimate expectations going into this? You know, maybe let's start with you, Civ. Did you have any sort of expectations before you fired this up?
No. So realistically, how this came about for me, I was stuck in the Once Human beta. I was doing that like just day in, day out, just cranking like 14, 15 hours a day, trying to just really get myself in there. And Joe was running it with me almost every day too. And he was like, hey, buddy, the last few days I'm going to cut out because Palworld's dropping and I've been really excited about it. And I'm like, hey, man, the beta's cutting anyway. I'll join you, man. Mike said it's on Game Pass. So free try. Why not? And then didn't look at it. Didn't care. I was just going to play for Joe. That was it. Straight up. And then that Friday, we all logged into the game, and a little bit of a rocky start, you know, day one. But immediately you saw 4 hours after we all jumped in, I was like, all right, I'm done. I'm buying this on Steam. I'm supporting the developers. This game is going somewhere.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Kumino? Any expectations on your end?
Okay, so once Joe introduced the glory of power to me in that trailer, I was so hyped. I showed almost anybody that would listen to me about it because I was expecting a action RPG kind of like with a Pokemon mechanic to it. And it was supposed to be that. It was initially going to be that, but they went the route of survival crafting, in which I'm coming from Ark Survival Evolved. So I was like, sure, I'll take it still. And it's fantastic to me. Like I instantly fell in love. Like Bio here, I had to buy it. I own it on Xbox and I own it for Steam.
What about you, Joe?
I'll be at work just playing the game. People be coming up asking me questions, and I give them the no. Everybody, my bosses know. Everybody knows that I'm playing this game. Like, I do not care. People come up, they be like, "Excuse me, what do you want?" So yeah,
that's awesome. So Joe, as a person who is initially the most excited about this, what were your expectations for Palworld going into it?
My expectations were that it was going to be comparable to a game like Pokemon Arceus, just with the being able to run around, and just with the caveat of you can pull out a pistol when your attack is not very effective.
Or sometimes it is pretty effective.
The fact of right, the fact of it just being multiplayer online. I didn't know much about the survival crafting aspect of it, because when I found out this game was actually coming out, I stopped watching. I stopped watching the trailers. I stopped. The only PAL decks I watched are the ones that you would send me.
Yes, I was about to say that. My I kind of for a while just would kind of like troll Palworld because of how similar a lot of the pals are to Pokemon. So leading up to I shouldn't say leading up to the release, because they were doing this like it feels like for an entire year where they would tease pals, every once in a while on Twitter, throw out like a pal deck entry and then like a little clip of the pal in game or whatever. And I would just tag Joe and Kumino and just be like, this is
This plus
Egyptian Lucario, or like I just everyone I would just troll it. But yeah, did it meet any of your well, I guess Civ and I didn't really have many expectations, but Joe and Kumino, did it meet your guys' expectations when you got in and played it? Did it exceed it? Did it miss the mark?
I actually took vacation when it came out from work.
Yes.
Which I haven't done that since like the old Call of Duties. Me and Chad used to
Nice.
shout out, would meet up at the GameStop every Call of Duty midnight release, and then I would take vacation almost that entire week and just do nothing but play some Call of Duty. And I was on at 3 a.m. trying to get into this game. I don't think I made it in till almost 4 o'clock. And I was blown away. It just looked really good. I didn't even know that it had like the Breath of the Wild stamina for climbing and for gliding. I found that out when I almost fell off a cliff, and I was like, oh, I have stamina. I only knew maybe like 10 to 12 pals. Some of them could be. Some of them look a lot like a certain other creation, but I played it for my first stream was, I want to say 10 to 12 hours. And that was just on Game Pass just to try it out.
Yep.
And I feel like I totally hardwayed that because then I bought it on Steam. And after I bought it on Steam, I made that first 10 to 12 hours of progress. Me and Civ caught up in like, 2 hours?
Yeah, it was like 2 to 3 hours, and you were right back to surpassed it even at that point.
Just because you learn and how to do it. Like we've restarted a couple times. Like I ran Game Pass, restarted on Steam, and then restarted on the dedicated server. Shout out to the Showboys dedicated server.
Yeah.
And brought some friends in there. We have a guild rolling, and I just like the team aspect of it.
Yeah.
Like we each have our own bases, and hey, I take care of this, you take care of this, and we just go back and forth and get what we need. So the funny thing is, if you look at all the stories we're telling so far, we've all bought this game twice.
Yeah.
So if you look at this, Palworld has sold 19 million copies from an indie developer. And a lot of people are saying, well, Scarlet Violet sold almost 24 million copies of the latest Pokemon release. But I think what's going to be the true story is what happens with the next Pokemon release.
I don't think they're going to change their formula.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not sure if Palworld will have much, if any, impact on the next whatever Pokemon.
I don't think it'll have impact on the game, the way the game is being developed. But how many people have jumped into Palworld because Pokemon has gotten stale to them and won't want to make that jump back to Pokemon?
No. See, I'm going against that, and I'm saying how many more people are going to be invigorated by this new IP and want to try Pokemon for either the first time or revisit it now.
Well, and I mean, look how many times we'll be like, what are you guys playing? Oh, I would jump back and play Ultra. I'm playing Ultra Sun right now. And we do. I mean, I like Ultra Sun because they wear red bucket hats. So that's like my go-to.
It's literally
Pokemon
your game. Yeah.
But
you actually look like the trainer grown up now.
That is him. What do you mean?
Yeah.
It's based solely off him. What do you
Yeah.
Right? But so like we do. we go back and revisit those old games. So yeah, you could be right on that. I guess time will tell.
Yeah. Cricket says Palworld was so cool, needs to be on PS5. Probably won't happen, but you could always just play it on Steam.
Now this could be the game if they figure it out to make me buy a Steam Deck.
Whoa.
Wow. Or like I was about to plug it because I was asked about my stuff too. The Backbone controller. It works on your phone. It is awesome and fantastic. I use it at work to play Palworld. You can just leave your PC on if you have Steam, and you can play straight from it to your phone.
Are we allowed to plug things? Because I would love to.
Yeah,
man.
Also, make sure while you using your Backbone controller in the restroom with your dude.
That's
wipes,
right. You got your dude.
Hey.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for sponsoring the episode tonight. Dude Wipes and Backbone. If you go check them out. Unfortunately, they're not giving us any money for this, but
Dude Wipes might.
They might. You never know.
And Backbone, they might come through.
Now, what is this? Okay, wait. What is this?
A Backbone?
Yeah.
It's a controller that you plug your phone into.
Yeah.
For mobile gaming. So,
all right.
See, but that sucks because that means it's Game Pass, Joe.
Well, no, he's playing like cloud through Steam.
Whoa, you can do that?
Yeah, like you.
I have an iPhone. Can I do that with an iPhone?
Yes.
We have to talk.
You're enabling him
right
now. You're enabling him.
We can't talk about this right now, but we have to have
everybody that sees me playing this. I swear to God, I'm gonna message Backbone and be like, "Listen, y'all need to make me a sponsor because everybody asks me about this. People be like, "Hey, that's a Switch." Nah, Backbone controller. Really? Is it worth the money? Yes, it's worth the money because look at what I'm doing. I have the emulator for Switch hardwired through Steam. So I'll be playing Pokemon Scarlet and Violet at work. I'll be playing Steam. Game Pass, it has the cloud version. I'll be playing Ark, Gears of War, now Palworld. I'll be playing all kind of games at work.
See, look, I'm buying my kid that.
And it's even compatible
allows me
with
to everything
certain mobile games.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy.
So like I don't have to do drugs at home. I can take my drugs with me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You could be like the people at the bus station and just whip out your pipe and just light it up.
Gonna say, don't we do that anyway? Come on.
Oh man. So yeah, I just want to get this off my chest because before we started, I was on for like 40 minutes or so. Kumino, I was working on the marsh base, right, in our cool little like swampy tree area, and I was like, you know what, I want to build up some defenses. I'm gonna put up a nice wooden wall around the perimeter of the one island we're on, and I'm trying to do it, and as I'm trying to throw this wall up, I'm just reminded, click after click, segment after segment, how much I wish the building was like Valheim or really any other game that has building because
okay, now that's something that I was going to touch on there when you asked me about how I feel about it. So after the 81.3 hours that I have in this game just on Steam, I have to say I love the game. But coming from other games where you have to build bases and stuff of that nature, the building could definitely use a lot of improvement. Yeah. Like one of the things that I absolutely hate is, so as you level up, you unlock different tiers of building material. You start off with wood, going to stone, and then you got metal. But the only way to upgrade your base is by destroying the structure rather than just replacing the structure. Like the way that Yeah, like the way you doing Ark is, oh well, I started off with wood, but I want to go to stone. So you would take that stone structure, put it in a place where the wood foundation is, and just replace it. It snaps easily. Pocket Pair, please. Y'all have taken elements from so many different games. Y'all have the money tenfolds now.
Yeah.
Please make your building system better. That's all I ask for.
And like, so I come from the world of Valheim, several hundred hours in that game, just building and creating with Nick. Well, basically he uses me as his resource slave, and then he does all the building. But when he's not on, I do my fair share of building here and there. And in Valheim, they don't have that like auto upgrade thing that you're talking about. Is really, really cool sounding. Valheim doesn't have it. It's not a big deal to me because so for example, like the marsh base, I was wondering maybe I'll do stone, and then I'm like, but it doesn't, like, for me it doesn't fit aesthetically because I'm in a marsh with a bunch of like cool like droopy mossy trees. I'm gonna keep everything wood. It kind of fits like the vibe here, but like the lack of snapping on some things. They have snapping on some things, but they don't have snapping on everything. Like, for example, the defensive wall, no snapping. So I'm just like sitting there, like trying to line it up perfectly so there's no gap, but then it's like super touchy where it's like if you just go like 1 millimeter over, then you can't build because it's obstructed. And you can't build regular walls without there being like a floor foundation. The biggest thing for me, since I'm building on this like little swamp landmass thing, is some water rocky areas you can build on, but some that logically you'd think like I should totally be able to build in this very shallow water that I can walk through that only goes up to like my character's shin or something. Like it won't let you build in it. And that was driving me nuts. But a thing I do like about the building, talking about just the floor foundations, is how you can raise the floor like on stilts or whatever, essentially, like very easily. It's just, you know, the way you move your mouse. But I really like that aspect, but there's a lot to be desired in the building area for me personally. That's probably the biggest drawback in my opinion. But yeah, Joe, you were about to say something, so please.
Plus, the thing about comparing Valheim building to Palworld building is in Valheim, you're not restricted to building in a circle. I wish it would be a square.
A square, or just not be limited to, you know, the space that you can build.
Now you can actually in the server turn off degradation. So if you build something outside of your base, it stays. So you can actually have a massive base, Kumino. Like on your Game Pass server, you can shut off degradation, building degradation. So anything you build outside of so you could make like a town if you wanted to around your base. I wouldn't recommend that for the dedicated server because we all come from Valheim, and me and Civ come from playing the Once Human beta, which has awesome building.
Nah, I just need a functional base. That's all I really need. In which I gotta say, also, tool real quick, Craftopia was made by Pocket Pair. Yeah, that's the kind of system that they was going for in the beginning when they made this game. I'm assuming Craftopia was kind of like their pet project to give us this, because they were using the money that they was getting from Craftopia as the budget for Palworld. So
yeah, and I think once I finish scratching the Palworld itch, I do want to check out Craftopia.
All right, so me and you getting on Craftopia then, because I'm feeling the same way.
Nice. Yeah, it's just so the degradation. What happens when you build outside of the circle?
When you build something outside of your base, depending on how much health it has, most things are like 1,000. Mm-hmm. It will slowly like lose one. It takes like 1 damage per every couple seconds. I think it's like 1 damage every 2 seconds. So after so many minutes, it's destroyed. Like I like to go around. I went to Sib's base the other day and put up a Joe was here sign, and I was like, man, I hope this thing isn't destroyed by the time he gets on.
Listen, so if you actually see it happen, it explodes. It
Nice.
is the best thing because you be sitting there minding your own business, doing some stuff around base, and the next thing you know, what in the world?
That's awesome. But also it makes me very sad because I was building outside of my base circle before we got on here.
Yeah,
And so that there goes that 40 minutes.
Yeah, I lost half my hatchery.
Oh, rip.
But yeah,
you got a little bit out of it though.
Yes,
like you had like a corner out of it.
If the piece is like 3% in your circle, I'm pretty sure you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely everything I built was not in my circle at all.
Oh no.
So yeah, just gonna dry these tiers up real quick.
In which also gotta hurry up and unlock the third base so I can get the metal base up. Gotta hurry up and do that.
Yeah, and you definitely go through the climbing struggles. Like when you first start the game, you're like, man, I need stone. And then you're like, man, I need ores. And then it's now it's like Valheim, but you don't have to work as hard to get it.
Yeah.
I've never hit a bottleneck in any of my crafting supplies. Not a single time have I gotten to the point where I go, oh crap, I have to sit here and grind and get all this for the next 3 hours before I can do anything. You can basically buy almost every material that you want. And for the few items that you cannot buy, your pals mine it and harvest it for you.
Mm-hmm.
So there should never actually be a point where you're like, oh, I'm going to be wasting my day going out and finding wool. No, it doesn't.
That's also the difference between being in a guild by yourself or being in a guild with friends.
Yeah.
Like I have my base, Mr. Tool has his base, and my other buddy Fudge, the guy who actually like built my PC for gaming, he's part of my guild and he has his own base. Well, you're limited to 3 bases. So
yeah,
I Mr. Tool has his base built where there's a bunch of ores. I'm trying to either persuade Fudge to move to where there's coal, or I'm going to have to move to where there's coal because I don't have access to any more bases to like. So that's why we're bottlenecked is we have 3 people wanting coal, but nobody has a base where there's coal.
Right. And then when you're on a server like this, that's the problem that you run into because there's only so many locations that's going to be rich in materials like that. So
gotta stake your claim first.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you got all of that, then you're great. But then somebody like me come along and I'm like, well, where can I even get in on that at?
No, but that's for a public server. If you're lucky enough to know somebody who's got a dedicated server, or if you're just playing on like a hosted server with 3 of your other friends, the odds that you run out of mining pockets to find ore or good wood or coal or sulfur, any of that stuff, slim to none. The world map is so big.
Oh no, because I don't know how well y'all, watch other streamers and YouTubers and stuff of that nature, but I've been watching Tag back while I've just been, playing Palworld myself. And on his dedicated server, he ran into that problem where the members on there, like, they go beat the bosses. So like he'd be like, well, I can't do bosses today because they done already did all the bosses. I can't go farm this because they done took the resource area. Like,
I mean,
I feel like if you get up to,
is there really not that many places? Because I watch a streamer who has a server that has tons of people on it, and that is the only time I've ever seen somebody who has like, oh, we got to run and find the right pocket before everyone gets there. We've got 7 people on the server. Like, we're not going to run out of places to find resources.
Yeah, we're not. but I'm saying like
Well, plus,
on
how
other
many of those
servers.
people watch that streamer so they know where he's going, so they know where to find the best pockets?
Exactly.
But this is what I'm saying. That's the difference between a public server and having a dedicated community server or a hosted friends server. You know,
Yeah.
you will find your resources. There should be no bottlenecking unless you partner up with a bunch of people who like to use your ingots.
Yeah. And I'm probably a terrible partner because I'm just like, when I built my base in the swamp, I was just like, wow, this little chunk of land looks really cool. There's some really cool trees here. I'm gonna make it my base. There's absolutely no useful resources there at all.
listen. I'm like, hey, one of these bases got to go. I'm setting mine up to be the farm. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna unlock the third one, but then we're gonna have to do something about.
Yeah.
But
I'll
look,
probably tear down the swamp base because I know trees and stuff grow back, but right before I got off again, like one of my pals chopped down the coolest tree that I built my base around, and I was like, I turned my back for 1 second. There's literally like a lumber farm right like 5 feet over here.
Speaking of which, were you able to access to your pals from my inventory?
Like your pal box?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
only if they're on the base can he access it from your guild. If they're in the PAL box, they're separate.
Okay, because another fun feature about this, so you guys watching, you know, pals, they work at the base for you. Your base could be so self-sufficient, it isn't funny. But they have a sanity meter that
And a hunger meter.
Yeah, and hunger meter. So far on servers right now, they haven't really figured it out for when you get offline to map it to where your pals will eat and do everything that they need to do by themselves.
Yeah.
Well, Mikey there, he decided to just leave his at work. And when I got on,
I just stepped out to get some milk. I told him I was coming back.
Yeah. Went to get some milk. I come to visit. All of them are laid out like starving because they won't eat without him being there.
They're just so
Well, you know
sad.
what?
They just can't. They lost
How
their
many
appetite.
times have you filled your dog's bowl before you went somewhere, and then you come back 6 hours later, and your dog's excited to see you, and his bowl's still full, and then my dog won't eat while I'm gone, so it makes perfect sense.
Wow.
I mean,
It is a terrible feature they need to
He also
fix.
doesn't like craft anything while I'm gone either.
Right.
Sounds like a true pal.
Yeah,
Right.
Right.
They craft a mess while I'm gone. That's about it. But Zeus is fat. Zeus is gonna eat while I'm gone, when I get back, while I'm asleep. Zeus is gonna eat no matter when. So
Yeah, there's some funny quirks that I hope they fix soon, like that. Obviously, I'm finding with just the way that my base is built, like the pals are having trouble getting to some of the workstations, even though they shouldn't have trouble. So assigning them to certain places, like that job just never gets done. And like, I wish it's stupid, but like this tree thing, like I wish I could just be like, don't chop this down or don't like mine this thing. Just you could like mark things as like, don't touch this. Don't touch this. Don't touch
feel
this.
like
that'll be so good.
I feel like right now they're just really working on bug fixes,
Yeah.
and once they start working on quality of life changes, it's gonna be a lot. I don't even know if they might open up the prospect of test servers to try out some of these quality of life changes.
No. Well, that's
I
the
haven't
thing.
been paying attention.
It is early access, not fully released yet. So we're 3 weeks into early access. So this stuff,
3 weeks in, and I'm at 93 hours on Steam.
Good Lord.
Yeah, we got it bad.
It's
So yeah,
embarrassing.
and I think all of us here are aware of like the pains that come with early access games, and I don't think any of us are surprised by what we're experiencing, or that we're finding quality of life things that could be improved. That's just part of the territory of playing anything early access. But yeah, that and yeah, it's just the building. I just really want to fix for that building for sure. But yeah, so
151 hours.
that is
Wow.
insane. That
Well,
is
I
literally
mean, like
insane.
I said, between
I'm at
you know what?
148.
Let me look at it real quick. Let me pull up my Xbox Microsoft hours. Hold on.
You guys are insane. While he's pulling that up, you know, as
64 hours.
oh my
Jesus
Lord.
Christ.
Do you guys like take time to breathe or like, you know, splash some water on your face every once in a while?
Yes, which makes me wonder, how am I getting all this time in? Jesus.
Man, you guys are nuts. But no, so Kumino, you alluded to there being some sort of narrative in this game.
Yes.
Could you enlighten us all?
Okay, so anybody that's familiar with you know, craft and survival games, you know, like there'll be like memos, notes, and stuff of that nature around that you have to go out and find because the story isn't being told to you through NPCs. You essentially have to find those to be able to piece the story together.
Mm-hmm.
And with Palworld, you have 6 different stories that's being told to you. Well, actually 5, because the other one is just a rap song.
Oh, nice.
that Axel he just wrote, and for some odd reason he left it out there in the world to be discovered. Not sure why, but
Interesting.
Mixtape.
yeah, he essentially put his mixtape out there. Like that's the one thing that you get from Axel, nothing else, just his mixtape. But yeah, so you got, dang, I can't remember. Okay, so you got Marcus, you got Zoe, you got Lily. Is the other dude named Alexander? I believe that's his name. And
Yeah, just say it with confidence. We'll all believe you.
No, I think I read
Alexander.
somewhere that Alexander is Axel.
Maybe
No.
Axel is just his stage name.
Yeah. Alex is okay. So that's what I was getting confused by. Alex is Axel. Yes, that's what it is. Then who was what's the researcher name?
That makes sense. His name is spelled differently. It's the same letters.
Yeah.
Like
But
Franken.
Yeah, but the researcher that he left, that dude. And so like all of these different groups, you get their leaders' explanation, as well as you have the castaway, the person who essentially was before you that got stuck on this island. And they went around and they explored. First and foremost, it's actually in the Pacific Ocean.
Oh,
So it's based in our world.
So Palworld exists in real life.
Yes, that at least that's what they're saying. That they was looking over the map of the globe, and they discovered that it's an area that is blank and nobody has went here. So let me go and explore it. When they got there, they found some fog. They were attacked. They don't
Fell
know
into the hollow earth, and
Is it bad? That just gave me hope for my life.
Joe's like, I'll be right back. I'm gonna pull a mic. Just don't forget to eat, guys.
But they was attacked. They don't know by a creature, by a person, but they ended up on the beach like we did. They saw the Sheikah tablet on the ground. They told them the same thing that they told us. But rather than trying to find out what the Sheikah tablet was talking about, they just went on an expedition because they found out, oh, I can record in here and take pictures with it. So they went around exploring, piecing things together, eventually leading them to the massive tree and wondering, why isn't the tree seen from the outside world? Because this is essentially Yggdrasil, the world tree. And that's kind of where things leave off with the castaway. And then you just get everybody else, all the tower bosses, their story.
Interesting.
So you guys, y'all can go find those memos yourself and read the story like I did. Okay. Or I'm pretty sure there's a video somewhere on YouTube by now. Somebody
has to be by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There has to be somebody actually doing that rap
Yeah.
by now.
I also love how we say bye now, but it's been 3 weeks. Like, like it's been like
You know
3
how
years.
fast
Somebody
people
put
work?
it
Yeah.
Come on.
Because it was 100 people that had way early access that been playing since last year.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so like they already know everything and they already have videos produced and all that stuff that like they was ready to go as soon as Palworld was released.
Yeah. That's crazy. So that sounds interesting. So the point, I guess, we're trying to figure out what the significance of this tree is.
I'm
Yes.
willing to bet this is like the tree of life. I have a theory that we're in purgatory. That
Mm.
everybody who went to this island is dead and somewhere between. They're halfway between.
Now, that part, I'm glad you bring it up because there's an NPC in the game. That's right, guys. This game has NPCs that talks about that. That says that I'm dead because I can be like, hey, I want this. And then the next thing you know, I have it. I don't have to work hard to get it the same way that I had to in my life. And so I'm just comfortable just staying right where I'm at. So it's a possibility that we might be dead.
Very Valheim like. Interesting. Joe, is your interest more piqued now that you know that there's a story and generally what it's about?
Yeah, I definitely think I want to go hunt these tablets. I found some of them. I read them for the first time today.
Nice.
Listen, find the tablets and talk to the NPCs. The only thing that I wish more when it came to this story, I wish it was more in our face.
Yeah.
I wish the bosses talked to us. I wish
Yeah.
there was a few more NPCs to let us know some stuff because we don't have explanation as into why are we rated by certain groups. You know, like I get it, it's a fun feature for it to happen that your base just randomly rated, but why am I being rated?
Mhm.
Like the Syndicate thugs, I can understand. We run into them in the beginning of the game. Okay, they know me. I killed their members. They want revenge. But why are these lavenders that's from the desert fangirling over me? What did I do? And how did they get here from the
Yeah.
desert?
And how can I do it more? What?
Wow. Mikey with the, how can I do it more? I know about them. I need more of them to come this way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you are stranded here, so you know you got to get it how you live, I guess.
Yeah. I do fully expect Joe to do the rap on one of his streams, though. That seem fair?
Yes.
Yeah, I
was working on it the other day. You got to do it.
I do have the entire thing written out. I sent it to Mikey. It's wonderful.
That's hilarious because I had no idea what you were talking about, but now I do, thanks to Kumino.
Did you line up like the syllables?
Oh, I certainly did. Syllables and rhyming schemes. It's almost perfect.
Okay, I was gonna say, man,
I gotta
it's gotta be real tight knit, you know.
I gotta get with Dad the Cap. Is
Like,
what I gotta do.
What is it to?
The Poke rap.
Is it?
Yes.
It's gotta be. Come on.
So they
Are you looking at it right now?
Like this is a
steal-
Joe's
oh my
original.
gosh. They steal the Pokemon and then they literally write in a PAL rap.
No, I made that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Joe.
I thought, okay. Kumino, are you pulling my leg? Is there actually a rap on these tablets?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like it's Axel. He just talking about how he's gonna mess up whoever comes his way with his lightning attacks.
Oh, okay. That's what I need Joe to do on stream. He needs to find the Axel rap.
Oh
and
yeah.
then do that.
Well, I'll have to get with Dad the Cap on that. He's here for that too.
But now now you definitely have to do the PAL rap too, because that's hilarious. I was gonna say the balls on these guys to like steal the Pokemon designs, but then also hide like an Easter egg of the PAL rap in the
PAL
game.
rap.
Like that would just be too much.
Okay, Joe, I can tell you where his is at. It's out there. So when you're on the west side of the volcano island, right? Down in the desert, down in the bottom. It's over there by the wall. Right before you get to Jet Dragon.
What are we
I don't
talking
go
about?
there. That's dangerous.
Wait, you haven't been there yet?
No, sir. Come on now.
Dude, Joe's been there 100 times. He's been there with me.
Yeah, it's where it's a whole bunch of sofa around it.
I've never seen that Jet Dragon.
Wow.
I feel like he's fibbing.
Yeah, he's pulling our leg.
Mike,
Knowing he be riding on 15 of them at the same time.
did you have a chance to go
V.
through some of the flavor text on some of those pals?
No, I've read a few of the PAL deck entries, not all of them though.
Dude,
is it pretty wild?
My favorite one is Nightwing. All right.
Okay.
To paraphrase it, because I can't just verbatim, what it is it's Nightwing will take baby pals found out in the wilderness and treat it as it's a surrogate for them.
Mm-hmm.
It'll raise them until they're nice and fat, and then it'll hunt them down.
Oh man, yeah, I'm gonna have to check out the PAL deck entries because there are some like sleeper, super dark and messed up Pokemon Pokédex entries. So
there is.
Yeah, so I'm excited to check out the PAL deck entries, especially with how like tongue in cheek this game is. I'm sure there's some really crazy ones. But that brings me up to the next talking point I wanted to hit tonight, and we kind of aired some grievances earlier, but now I would like to talk about some of the things that we're really enjoying, like maybe any favorite pals, favorite things to do in game, whether it's the building, the exploring, the dungeoning, the capturing. If there's any fun mechanics that we're enjoying. I'll start. I think one thing that Nick and I have always joked around about what we wish Valheim had, and that was NPCs that could gather resources and like do stuff for us. And Palworld has that. Like the fact that you can put like you're not just capturing pals and storing them in your like everyone that you're not using on your team in the PC indefinitely to never see the light of day again. Instead, you're capturing them and enslaving them to do all your manual labor at your base. But so I guess it's a little better because they can like get out, a little fresh air, work the muscles. But I think that is like super fun. They build stuff for you. You can set up the resource like camps in your base with the logging and the stone. They grow and water your farm fields. They cook your meals for you. Like, it's so cool that you can put your pals to work outside of just battling. But Civ, do you have any favorite mechanics, pals in particular, anything that really like sticks out to you that you really enjoy a lot?
Couple of things I really like. Some of the pal mechanics. Being able to create harnesses or different launchers for your pals.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed creating a harness for my Fox Sparks.
Yeah.
After I caught a Lucky, so it's extra large. I got an extra large flamethrower. Yeah,
that's so awesome.
Exactly. I had I don't even remember what pal it was. I jumped on the back of a pal, and it was a Mossanda Lux, an electric Mossanda. It's just a panda with a yellow, thing on his face. I jumped on his back and I'm shooting a grenade launcher, and it's fantastic. It's so cool. It's terrible because I killed the server. Don't ever use grenade launchers to harvest ore or wood. That will add too many assets into the game server.
He instantly spawned like 3,000 wood onto the board.
Yeah, the game went from a full 60 frames down
to
like
item in a server is, I think, limited to 3,000, and he just made all of them in one spot in like 3 seconds. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, but
that's hilarious.
And then Kumino was streaming, and Kumino's like, "Man, why am I lagging so bad? I'm just gonna end the stream." And then I look over at Sim, and he's like,
So that's what it was. Oh my! I thought it was my PC. I'm like, I need a new PC.
I hope Dad's watching and he remembers to clip specifically Joe's cam in that part.
So the PAL mechanics of building that stuff, that's a lot of fun. I like that feature. Oh goodness, the PAL that I think is the cutest, and I believe most of the internet is behind me with this. It's Depresso. Depresso is the cutest damn PAL I've ever
gifts
seen.
of Depresso mining is just like forever cemented in my head.
It was the selling moment for Depresso was when Joe pointed it out to me. He goes, "Did you see Depresso relaxing in the hot tub? Depresso lays face down in the hot tub. He just chills. He's bloop."
Yeah, you just lay there. You're like, poke him with a stick.
That is hilarious.
So yeah, I would love a plushie. If they made a Depresso plushie, that would be Christmas gift 2024.
Now,
okay,
awesome.
So on TikTok, it's a girl. She has already started making plushies for them.
Smart cookie.
Now
She's gonna make a lot of money until she gets taken down.
Remember, like 6
kinda like
months ago,
Palworld.
Mikey. Remember, like 6 months ago, when I sent you that the one that was on Temu. There was a there was a Grisbolt plushie on Temu, and I should have just snapped bought it.
Yeah.
It's gone now.
You really should have.
Yeah.
You really
I should have snapped bought it.
Yeah. Kumino, anything that sticks out to you?
Favorite features of the game. I love being able to actually interact with people. Like, it brings life to the massive world that is presented in front of you. You know, one of the things that the art community always asked for was, "Yo, give us some NPCs to interact with." You know, just a few. And Wildcard never did it. They gave us HNLA, but that's just essentially a robot of a dead woman. It doesn't. It's not the same.
Yeah.
Like these NPCs, like even though they're just standing there, they're not doing anything. It still makes me feel like it's life here. It's people here. There's something going on. So I hope Pocket Parrot, once the game finally fully launches, have some more NPCs, have them moving about.
And quests.
Yeah, and quests, you know, just to make it more alive. I love that aspect because honestly, after reading the story and knowing what's going on, I'm kind of like the researcher. Why can't I just be like, forget this tablet? I just want to live my life. I'm a security guard. All I know how to do is secure stuff, you know. Like, I don't want to go search for keys in a tower, you know, or go to that tree. That tree look creepy over there, you know. But as well as the legendaries, being able to ride them. Oh my God, Frost Stallion is my favorite, and I it's just so beautiful. I've named it Lady Pegasus.
Oh, nice.
And so yeah, those are the things that I love about it.
It's also nice to ride a legendary that doesn't look like a motorcycle.
Why'd you have to go there, Joe? I almost forgot about that. But
I mean, Miraidon is okay. I'm okay with Miraidon looking that way. The other one, not so much.
Any living creature that has a wheel like protruding from its body, it's not okay with me.
Not at all.
Not at all. Yeah. So before I forget, I'll just throw this out there. I don't care what anyone says. Fwack is the best, most OP in power and cuteness pal that exists in this game. Go ahead, Joe. What's your favorite? What do you like most about Palworld? Anything that sticks out to you?
I love being on the dedicated server and just coming across on my journey, just seeing somebody's base and being able to see people in the game.
Yeah,
is wonderful for me. I hate to say it, but I love it when I'm like, oh, I just got to go get iron. I got to go get this. There's always something to do. I always build stuff.
Yeah.
There is weapon degradation, so I'm always like, I fire too many bullets, and then I was like, all right, I gotta get this, and then I was like, oh, I don't have this. Gotta go get it.
Unless you got my problem.
Mr. Tool is like God mode. He's like, hey, I got you like 400 coal, and I was like, oh my god,
I needed 5,
and it's gone.
Yeah.
I really like some of the pals. I think my favorite pal is probably Lift Monk. That pal is so overpowered. You go up, I think mine's like level 45, and I can go up to like some of the level 45 bosses and just pull out that submachine gun and take like half of his health out before it even begins.
A Leafeon from the hood, bro.
Yeah.
Right.
Very, very cool. They're cute. I like going to the humans, and when you kill them, they're like, and it's the funniest thing in the world.
A mouthful of Skittles when they died.
Yeah, it's hilarious. And just
that was the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
Don't clip that too.
No, clip that.
So many good shorts so far.
Right, clip that, please.
Yeah. Have any of you guys tried the Pal Sphere like thing where it just launches you into like the Shadow Realm?
Oh, where you climb on top of it?
Oh,
yeah. If you climb on top, I actually watched somebody that was fighting a Mamorust, and they used the Pal Spheres and caught a pal in front of the Mamorust, and then the Mamorust ran toward them, did a charge attack right as it was going, and it shot it up in the air and took like 75%. The guy was at like level 3.
Oh my gosh, dude!
And took out that Mamorust at the beginning. I'll tell you what, TikTok, there's so many good clips and many good moments of people just enjoying this game and just breaking it wide open with just some good quality comedy.
I hope that they don't fix the Pal Sphere launch, because I've done it a few times and it is so fun.
I believe they've already patched it.
The first time I did it, I was just like, all right, I saw it and I was like, I got to try this. I didn't have a glider. So I just fell after being launched literally to where everything was just not visible. I fell down and died. But then the second time, I was like, all right, I got my glider. I'm going to do it again. But it launched me so high that it just reset me back into my base. It's just, I don't know. It's just really fun. I'm sad if they actually.
But I will say that I have between Steam and Game Pass over 100 hours in this game, and I don't know who my battle team is yet.
That's true. Not me either.
Now that one, I feel like it's subjective. They did a good job with deciding, okay, tight matchup is a thing, but any pal can learn any attack.
Yeah.
So it's really up to you and how you want to invest in the pal. That way your team could be whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But I haven't I'm not a big fan of like the super large pals because they always get in my way and stuff. So
Oh
I'm
my
like
gosh.
I have like the small pal army. Like right now I have like Lift Monks and Fox Sparks, and they're my main two. And then it's just 3 flex spots.
Why do you not have Flack? I'm very offended.
I'm pretty sure you're the only one who feels that way about Thwack.
Come on,
Just you.
don't do that to my
Mikey,
boy.
okay, so you're saying that Fwack is like the what, cloth?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Cloth. I wonder if
You
we
know
saw
what?
that
I can
gift
see
button
it.
around here somewhere. Yeah, so I know we're talking about positives, but a lot of things that we brought up here, I wouldn't quite say they're negatives for me, but they're just like falling a little bit short. When it comes to my team and using them in combat, I feel like maybe I mean, you guys have put over 100 hours each into this game, so I'm not that far. But I feel like it lacks depth and like real reason. Like I don't, as you can tell, I use Flack a lot. Like I don't care who I throw out there because between myself and Flack, I can like handle whatever obstacle I come, within reasonable level. So the depth and like significance to battling with pals isn't quite there for me yet. The world, I like the environments. It's a very like pretty, and it seems large, but in that it still feels pretty empty. Kumino brought up the fact that there are NPCs. There's like small little settlements that they like hang out in, which are really cool. But even with that, it's very few and far between, and things just feel a little lifeless. And I say all that knowing that this is 3 weeks into early access. They have the whole like future ahead of them to continue to add and build. And this is what we saw in Valheim. Valheim was very similar too. I mean, it's still, I don't even know how long Valheim's been out, but only half of their planned biomes in Valheim have been released and made it into the game yet. So even a game like that that's been out for a couple of years is still, for the most part, like kind of empty because it's only half filled with what they planned. So I know there's a ton of room to grow, but for me personally, those are the spots that I'm noticing have the most room for improvement, or maybe that I desire growth in the most. But is there any areas for you three that you feel that way about before we head into Palworld's roadmap, and maybe we can do like a collective showboys / stream team roadmap for Palworld. But before we do that, is there any area that you find just a little bit lacking that you wish they would improve on, or can't wait for them to like fully flesh out? Let's start with you, Civ. I did it again.
Yeah. The catching mechanic is a little bit bothersome to me. Even with ridiculously high catching like skill leveled up at this point, and then using the highest grade spheres, going after some of the lower level pals, I still miss out on a few shots that should absolutely be 100% catches, like the 97% ones that you're like, oh, it's 97%. What just happened? That should not happen like that. And it's not some bug or anything. It's actually written that way. I mean, there is some heavy, RNG in that it just messes up some things for that. So it kind of feels off. But on the other side, it's kind of awesome because I'll go after pals that are way out of my league, and I'll throw the crappiest sphere, and it's like you've got 1% chance, and then you just nail it sometimes. So that's cool, but I wish it would just be a little bit more focused so that you knew beforehand you're not going to waste 10 minutes throwing 150 pal spheres, on some a lamb ball. Why?
Right.
I can't wait for them to have the arenas put in eventually. They did say we'll get to that. So being able to do PvP is cool. A thing I don't like about the game, and that's the whole reason I'm not in a guild, is the limited base numbers. That is troublesome, but in other games, just like in Shrouded, you are limited to 2 fires for your whole guild. So I guess it's a mechanic to kind of limit how far your reach really goes in the game on its map, and also to give other people the opportunity to play the game to its full enjoyment, as opposed to being left in the dust.
I wonder if that, like some of the other settings we've talked about, could be modified on dedicated servers.
What do you mean?
If we could remove the base limit.
But
let's ask Nick about that.
We'll find out.
Yeah. So, Kumino, do you have any areas you'd like to see improve?
Okay, so I kind of have a tangent that I wanted to go on. I was thinking about this at work last night and this morning, but we kind of covered some of that within just talking. Yes, I praised it for having NPCs and making the world feel like it's alive, but when I look at the trailer that they initially gave us, even the first one in the Unreal Engine, this game is so far different from that it kind of did hurt my expectations in terms of what I was expecting from the game. So I am asking for more NPCs, a more flushed out world, and for the story to be in my face. I want to be able to talk to these NPCs and understand everything about what's going on in the world and why are things like this, and how has it affected you. Like I put the picture up the other day in Discord, like what is going on with that stuff out in the water. Like it looked like it was supposed to be a settlement or something, but it's just out there in the ocean. Why is it there? Is that something that they made a mistake on? It can't be, because it's on the map, for peak's sake. So what important landmark is that supposed to be, or what it was? Why these towers important? Those are the things that I love in games. I love diving into the story. So I definitely need that story. Also, going back to the building, I need better building. Allow me to go into first person, because I can't see like this in third person to be able to build properly. I don't know how everybody else building these 5-star resorts, but I can't do it. I need to be able to go into first person, allow for that. And as well as, just off shooters in general, I feel like first person is better for shooting. So I think a lot of people would appreciate that. That's all of the tangent that I'm gonna go on for right now, because if I went off on the tangent that I really wanted to go on, I would have my own video.
Well, hey, I look forward to watching that video sometime soon. You should totally make it.
Okay.
Joe, in your 1,000 hours in 3 weeks, is there anything that's left you a little depresso?
My main thing is I can't really remember the last time I played a game where I know the story. I mean, look, I have so much time in Valheim. I don't even know the story of Valheim.
Yeah.
I think I'm a big cozy gamer, like Stardew, Coral Island, just chop my trees, build my stuff, plant my crops. So
Yeah.
like this game's right up my alley. A lot of the things that I could use in the game are just the quality of life improvements. Being able to transport things between your bases would be really nice. Supply lines. Seeing more wandering merchants when you're out adventuring, or seeing other groups traveling. Like the NPCs I would like to see are the people that, hey, I have these supplies I found, and they just have like a random inventory or stuff like that. Just random things. The building, I could really, me and BioAssassin played the Once Human beta, and their building spoiled me. Because it's just the snapping is wonderful. You can build, like Ziv's house was like a big triangular building or octagonal building that looked really sweet, and that's a struggle here. I even really enjoyed Lego Fortnite. Their snapping was amazing on their building, but I feel like it's very difficult. You can't save blueprints. So if you destroy something, if you want to move your base, you got to pick up all that stuff and you got to carry it, or you just got to say goodbye to it.
Right, and that sucks.
That sounds terrible. Man, you
I
bring
also
up
wish
blueprints.
you could build a fast travel point. I wish somewhere
that would be cool.
like in the high level you could build just like in Stardew,
Like a
you could build the
relay.
totems where like, hey, I want to go to the beach, I'll build a beach totem, boom, I'm at the beach. Like I wish they just would make something like that, like just a fast travel home from wherever you want. Like a teleport, just straight teleport to one of your bases. That would be very nice, especially once somebody's killed my bird and I have no way to get around and I'm stuck in the desert running and I'm out of food and I was running through the desert completely out of food. I find a chest and it has 2 pieces of bread in it, and I was like the happiest guy in the entire world.
But that's a survival game. I mean, they put a ton of fast travel points all over the world. It would be way too easy if you could just make a fast travel point and bounce every time you. Oh no, I'm not dealing with that thing. And
Well, I mean, you could technically, if you wanted to, only build 2 bases and just have a third base.
That's what I did.
And just
I have that third base as like a link up, like, okay, I'm in a situation, I need to go. It's real easy. It's like 3 stone, 10 wood, and 1 paldium crystal. It's
that's exactly what it is.
Super cheap. And I'm like, have it on you at all times. Get ready to bounce.
But I really like the biomes. We didn't even mention that, like you need heat resistance to go into the desert. If you want to go up into the mountains, you need cold resistance. That's a lot of fun to do. I haven't even built a lot of the stuff for the pals. And one thing I would also like to see is it probably will never happen, but synergy bonuses for having certain pals on your team.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Or like team attacks, stuff like that would be really cool. Maybe that's something once they open up the arena, like team attacks would be really cool. I don't even know how they're going to do the arena. Is the arena going to be like your Pokemon-esque battles? Because that's a little weird because you only have 3 moves and they don't really have, or 4.
No.
You only have three moves, and they don't really have. I mean, there is like same attack type or same type attack bonuses, but you don't have. Typing really doesn't matter.
Yeah, the elemental aspect of it is so crappy that it don't matter.
You can breed so fast and just make the greatest pals in the world.
Wait, what do you mean about the elementals? That matters.
Okay, so it's a hidden stat that you don't get to see, and it's the elemental. Yeah, it's the elemental stat, and it is irrelevant. It does not even matter. That's the reason why everybody can learn everything, because it's like, yeah, you get this boost, but it doesn't help overall.
I thought you meant like the attacks themselves were elemental. I'm like, those really cause significant damage on specific
Yeah.
pal
like
types.
I
Yeah,
worry
they do.
for arenas.
But like when you look at it, like, okay, so they call it magic in the stats, but if you have a high attack, then the magic doesn't matter. And if you had a higher magic than you did attack, it still wouldn't matter. Matter of fact, it'd actually be worse if your magic was higher than your actual attack. So I don't know if that's something that they're gonna scrap or what, but
Yeah, my fear is like you can just take a normal POW, give it a dragon attack, a fire attack, and a lightning attack.
No,
And
it
you
don't
in there.
work like that. I did that with my Dazi. I dumped a whole bunch of the PAL souls into it, got it all the way up to the large PAL souls, gave it 3 of the high dragon or high PAL fruit attacks. And Dazi, while a beast, just couldn't put up the damage I needed. It was the longest fights you would ever see. I turn around and I get like a Relaxosaurus out there, and the battle's over in 30 seconds. So even you can teach a leaf monk to do dragon's breath, and while it's very cool and it would be effective, way more effective on a later tier PAL.
So stab exists in this?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. That's cool.
But also, what was the passive skills that you had on her? On your
What?
Dazi?
Oh, I don't remember. I didn't care. I know that she was all statted as yellow and grays, no reds, but it wasn't anything about attacks or nothing.
See,
like
that's
that.
why those passive skills, they come into play majorly. You put like legend, lucky, musclehead, and ferocious on her. Oh, she gonna be wiping out stuff, no problem.
Not gonna disagree, but take all those passives and put it on a later stat PAL, and it's way better than the Dazi with the same stats.
Yeah, he's saying that
Yeah.
the higher the later the POWs you encounter later in the game are just significantly stronger.
Well, I mean, yeah, of course.
No,
I mean,
it
just
shouldn't
at
be. Of
base
course,
stat.
it shouldn't be. Of course, like a level 1 Pokemon should be the same. Pokemon number 1 should be the same as Pokemon number 149. I'm not going to say 150 or 151, obviously, because nothing's going to beat those in the first gen. But 149 should be the same stat as 1. It's just depending on how it was raised.
You shouldn't like a pal or a Pokemon shouldn't completely drop off and become completely useless as you catch other pals in different areas of your game.
And that's the thing. That's what I was saying. Like, they don't become useless. Like, if you breed them right, they'll be pretty good. Like, they're not going to be.
100% disagree.
Listen, no, it's not going to be a Frost Stallion, Jet Dragon.
Right.
It's not going to be those. Because those are legendaries. It's not even going to be a Blast Mute.
But what he's saying is, if you take that legendary stat and breed it onto a Thwack,
that
Thwack
Thwack is going to be able to be on that team and hold his own.
No,
he will be. You watch.
Look, number one.
Yes, he
PAL,
is.
Look. Number 1 PAL deck entry is Lamball. Lamball is number 1 because it is the weakest PAL in the whole game. It is in fact stated in its thing that it just rolls over and dies for everyone else. That's why he is number 1.
Okay, you shouldn't take it so literal.
It's
Because
literally in the thing. You should
Okay.
take it literally.
now I have a
Okay.
challenge, Mr.
Okay,
Toll. I know
so-
you're breeding turtles right now, but we need
Hold
this
up.
stacked Lamball now.
it is, I gotta go find the video, but somebody made a team of Swee to support a sweeper. That sweeper was decimating everything. Okay, it's the big
I
white
know.
fuzzy
It's
thing.
the big fuzzy cat with the mustache.
Aren't we all
Right.
big fuzzy cats?
It was messing up legendaries. So trust me when I say, if you breed it correctly, you can do amazing things with any pal.
Well, let's agree to disagree on this one. But yeah, I think some valid points were made on both sides there for sure. But I don't want to, we're coming down the last maybe 20 minutes of the episode here, and I have the roadmap up, the official Palworld roadmap that they released, like a week ago, week and a half ago, something like that. That we should go through because you guys have mentioned the arenas and things like that, and maybe I guess we kind of did loosely, unofficially talk about things that we would like added to the roadmap. But you guys ready to read the extremely detailed roadmap that they
I
put
have
out?
one more thing.
Okay.
One thing I would like to see in the game is being able to pull up some sort of like a spreadsheet where you can drag the PAL to the base, to the station you want them to work at.
Yes.
That'd be nice.
Yes. Without
And then
ditch
having
the
to pick
throwing
them up
method.
and throw them, and then it's like, I'm trying to get you to do my furnace, and it's like, it's not, it can't run an incubator. I'm like, I know it can't, so I'm throwing it at the furnace. The furnace is highlighted on my screen. Oh, it can't run that incubator. Stop.
Yeah,
I'm about to break out the butcher cleaver.
Yeah.
But just
then,
the fact where you can like base management.
Joe's just standing in the corner of his base, just like, come on,
Do
get
it.
to that furnace right now.
But things like that, I really like that. Just be able to say, hey, here's your stations. Here's your pals on your base. Click and drag them, put them where you want them to be.
That would be amazing.
All right, that's all I got. Roadmap.
No, that's great. That
Roadmap,
should be on the roadmap. But yeah, here's the extremely detailed roadmap that they put out. First, addressing the critical issues. They're like Joe alluded to, and if you're playing, you've noticed just about every other day there's a new patch, small or big. They've been doing a very tremendous job of staying on top of some of the game breaking bugs and things that are a real pain in the butt for people. They've been pretty quick at getting fixes out for those, which has been awesome. Sorry, I'm like losing my voice over here. Obviously, addressing the critical issues and bug fixes is always top priority, of course. But the improvements they want to implement ASAP, some key configuration improvements and improvements to base PAL AI and pathing, which is kind of what we just were talking about. If they instituted an idea like that, Joe, and I think I saw like a screenshot of somebody, like I think a modder out there made that. Man, that would just be such a high quality of life improvement right off the bat. But then they have their planned future updates, PvP, raid bosses for endgame content, the PAL arenas, which would be PvP for the PALs themselves, Steam and Xbox crossplay, which would be pretty cool. Various Xbox feature improvements, server transfers and migrations, because at this point, I don't know if this falls under that category, but the character you create when you enter a world lives permanently in that world. If you go to play in another world, you have to create a brand new character from scratch. I don't know how many of the other survival crafting games work, but as a Valheim veteran, when you hop between seeds, whether you're playing on a solo one or you're jumping on a friend's or a dedicated server or whatnot, your character goes with you, your skills go with you, anything you have in your inventory goes with you. So I don't know if they plan on if that transfers and migrations falls under that category, or if something else.
Which that could be really scary. Because I feel like your character should transfer, but your pals should not transfer.
That seems fair.
Because you're gonna go to you're gonna make a private server, or your personal server. You can just set your experience to max and set your catch rate to almost auto catching. Set your experience way up, and just set your egg hatches to instant hatch, and just make like super powerful pals, and then take them over to other people's servers and Like go to the arena and just destroy. I feel like that's gonna be a scary thing.
That is.
Yeah.
I watched another streamer breed the fastest flying mount in the game. They did like 158 eggs to get through it, but they had a special server where they did everything like you said.
Yep.
Experience all the way up. Egg incubation was instantaneous. Breeding time was the fastest you could go, and they got the perfect stats for what they wanted. They're going to bring it over for the community server and use it for their arenas. So
Exactly.
yeah, it's a little bit unfair for communities to, or
Yeah.
even pub servers build
Right.
your own at home and bring it out onto the range.
So, random question about the gameplay mechanics. I haven't built the breeding farm yet. So when they produce an egg, you got to throw it in the incubator.
Yes.
Oh, that's really cool. I really like that. Anyways, back to the roadmap. There's 2 more bullet points I have here. Improvements to the building system. Oh, please.
Yes,
Like
please.
that cannot come soon enough. But they also have new islands, pals, bosses, and technologies. So
Yeah.
looks like they plan on extending the pal deck. New technology. So we're going to learn new skills. There will
I want
probably be
that
new
net
items
launcher.
to craft. New islands, new biomes. The world itself literally is going to grow, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And of course, bosses. And like I said before, they're going to add end game content, raid bosses, and stuff like that, which is always fun when you're playing with friends and co-op and whatnot. Is there anything else that they did not include or that we did not already talk about that you would love to see on a roadmap in the near future or added to this and like rushed up to the top of the list, or did we kind of already go through those? I've gone through my important ones.
I think we went through that. That's what we wanted, right?
Yeah, I feel pretty comfortable that we touched on all the points of things that I would want in the future of the game.
Yeah.
I do like the aspect, like the thought of new maps. Like, how would they do that? Like new islands. I kind of hope that the new island has all the towers in the exact same place, and the island is shaped around that, because you could almost do like Sid was saying, that the purgatory idea, like it's the exact same towers, but the whole world is different. But those towers are in the exact same place. I think it would line up really cool.
That would be cool. I hope they have like a poison biome. Like that would be a sweet one, or like a swamp that you could have like that. A graveyard for like ghost pals or something.
Or even
Start
new
incorporating
typing,
some of
too.
those. Huh?
More like new pal types.
More
New
types
pal
would be
types,
really
yep.
cool.
Yeah.
Those are really good ideas.
The best way that I would say is, have any of y'all play Ark?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay. So the way that Ark does it, because I was going to bring it up when y'all talking about the server transfers. So it has to be connected to the cluster. So, i.e. the show boys, they drop the new maps and stuff of that nature. Well, if you get another server for that other map, then that's part of the cluster. So that's what you'll be transferring to. You won't be able to go to, say,
a different server, but you can go to a different cluster in the same server.
Exactly. So that way, yeah, your character is really strong. It has all your knowledge, and you even have your pals with you. But like, it's still a new place where you still got to explore it. You still got to get through it. And like Ark, they introduce aberration to stop people from being able to do that. And what that did was it took away the ability to use any of the dinos, especially flyers, on that map. So you had to start anew. And the only way that you can transfer back was by going up to the top, because it was underground. But if you go up top, you got to wait till nighttime, because during the day it's on fire up there. But at nighttime, these big gigantic monsters come out and they will eat you alive. So they made it where, hey, you're gonna struggle. And I think Wildcard did a good job with that, with pacing everybody on, hey, just because you this strong, don't mean you're ready, because we increased the level cap, as well as we kept you from being able to use these pals. I mean, not pals, Lord, these creatures right here. So, you know, you got to come up with a whole new strategy, and I'm hoping that they can do that perfectly, especially since in the interview he said that Ark was one of the games that they got inspiration from.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I worry about the amount of people we have in our dedicated server whenever I see that raid bosses are coming. Because have you guys seen some of the skeletons of pals that are on this map?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's some skeletons that are larger than your entire base building area.
Yes.
Like threefold, like 4 times bigger than your base building area. And if those are coming in the raids, we're gonna have to
increase your guild.
Yeah. Now I wonder, like, when they say things like new islands, if it's more what Civ was talking about, where it's like just a new like island on the already existing map that introduces a new biome, or if they're talking like what Kumino was talking about, where it's like a whole new like literal map. So I don't know where they plan to go with that.
Now, if you look at the thing where you can't, like, even where they put in the story that you can't see that tree from outside of the world, it could be even we reach that tree and it unlocks new islands that we could not see. Expands the map that way. I'm sure they have a plan on how they want to do it, and I'm excited to see how they do it.
Yeah, because if you get to the border where the tree is at, and you kind of look past, like, you could see stuff out kind of past the tree. So I'm guessing that's what it's going to be. It's going to be like it's going to unlock stuff past the tree, maybe.
Nice. And then you see things like the new technologies, which then would make me think the level cap increase, obviously, because you unlock your technologies as you grow levels, get technology points, things like that. But yeah. So overall impressions as we end here, we wrap up in the next couple minutes. I think we're all pretty pleased with the state of a 3-week-old early access game. I think we're having fun with it. We all are aware that there's growing pains and a few pain points here and there. But overall, highly addictive, very fun gameplay loop that if you haven't tried yet, you really, really should. That's my endorsement of it. I guess we could go around if you want, but I feel like we all kind of echo the same sentiment. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, Palworld's awesome. And if you're, like we've mentioned before, the Show Boys, we have a dedicated server, so you can join our Discord and let us know if you want to jump in and play. There's plenty of room on there. It's always fun to get to play with other people, so let us know if you're interested. Also, feel free to leave a comment and tell us what you think about Palworld. But yeah, I've got nothing else to say, guys. Do you guys have any closing remarks before we wrap up and get out of here?
Go ahead.
See if we got to get our plugs in. So make sure you use the backbone controller. It is wonderful.
On, man.
It goes hand in hand.
Come on.
Right, it goes hand in hand with the dude wipes. You
use both at the same time.
It entertains you.
Yeah,
and it provides the dude wipes give you the comfort after use. So
yeah,
you got Cheeto fingers. Use some dude wipes. Clean up your fingers before playing your backbone.
You definitely want to clean off your fingers after having the Blue Diamond Extreme.
There we go.
Carolina Reaper almonds.
Don't touch your eyes with the Blue Diamond Extremes. The Carolina Reaper almonds. They'll hurt your eyes. You got to use the dude wipes and then play with your backbone.
Right, so that way you'll be able to see. You know what I'm saying?
I just quickly looked around my desk because I felt I had some serious FOMO of not promoting something, and all I have is this Blistex I'm
Wait, what
There you
Blistex
go.
is that?
Look, listen.
medicated
so
mint,
while you
only the
playing
best
game-
kind of Blistex, you know.
You got to use
Right.
the Blistex when you eat the almonds. You know, if you burn your
Right.
lips.
Yes.
and stuff.
Yes.
And then you know you're gonna be playing the game. You're gonna be
Oh
having
my
your mouth
gosh.
closed, your lips get chapped.
Joe, hold
You know,
on.
Damn.
It's perfect.
Let's
I know.
pull up random things and see if we have the same things. Who's got the Roto all-in-ones? Come on, that's a necessity for gaming.
Boom.
Look,
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
Joe,
I don't have that.
I have so many tubes of medicated mint Blistex.
I'm lining up with
Anyways,
everybody.
All right, we gotta cut
All right,
this.
don't think-
Okay,
I
no,
just
but
have
for real,
Rogos
wait,
pretzels.
wait.
It's a
I do
nice
wanna
hand
say-
snack that you can just grab and just.
Oh my god. I want to
Damn.
say thank you to Nick. He has been so awesome from the beginning of this, getting everything set up for the Showboys community server. Like that was a pain in the ass, but thank you, Nick, so much, man. I appreciate you.
Right, Nick is the MVP behind all of this. Thank you, Nick.
He really does deserve a lot of props because not only did he get the Palworld server up and running as quickly as possible, he's also running a Valheim server for Showboys and an Enshrouded server for Showboys. So that dude's got 3 dedicated servers running out of his basement. A real hero. Thank you, sir.
He's kind of like a pal at this point.
Oh,
Yeah, and Steve and Roger better better look out.
I'm gonna send him some berries.
He deserves a raise. Yes, he definitely deserves a raise.
But no, these lovely guys, they're all fantastic streamers, super entertaining. Go check them out. Their links to their Twitch pages are in the episode description below, but twitch.tv/uglykidjoecross, twitch.tv/bioassassin, and twitch.tv/kuminodadon. So go check them out, follow them, and tune in whenever they go live. Always blessed to hang out with them and their stream communities and the chats. They're all super cool people. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. And I'll see you. What's the world of Palworld? Like, does it have a name?
Yeah, it's right there. Palpagos Islands.
Oh, okay.
Because like I said, like it's our world because it's in the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Earth, sir. Earth.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's Earth.
you know what? I hate you guys. So yeah.
Hey, that's what.
So I have to also shout out Dad because while we were live, he jumped in and threw this into StreamYard for us. So
Right, I seen
Oh.
it and I was like, oh my god.
That's great. It took us that